Okay, class, I just wanted to refresh your memory on inequalities just a little bit. Um, let's look at this problem. Got solve the inequality for V. So I wanted to talk about this negative right here. So when we solve an inequality, we solve it the same way that we would solve an equation. Our job is to get the variable by itself. So right now we have a multiply by 3, and then over here this is technically an add 5 because that's positive. So we have a multiply by 3 and add 5. Remember, add, subtract go first, so I would subtract 5 from both sides, first step. Those zero out. So I get negative 3v is greater than 17 minus 5, which is 12. So at this point, you're ready to divide, because this is multiply, the inverse operation is divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3, and this is what I wanted to point out to you and refresh your memory about. When you are working with inequalities, if you are having to divide by a negative, or if you had to multiply, like if it was a fraction and you were multiplying by a negative, you have to remember to reverse the relationship. Okay? So what do I mean by the relationship? That means the symbol. So this symbol right here is going to have to reverse. Instead of it being an is greater than, it becomes an is less than. And so now I divide. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1, so I get V. And 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. So the solution is V is less than negative 4. Okay, now you are going to also run into some inequalities that have variables on both sides. So don't forget, you use all the same steps that you use when you are solving equations. Okay, your job is to get the variables on the same side. So think about this as like a wall right there. So all the y's have to be on one side, and all these numbers, they're called the constants. The constants have to be on the other. So in order to solve this one, I like to start with my variable terms. Here's my little wall, okay? So I like to start with my variable terms. I look at those coefficients. So here are my two coefficients. And the one that I'm going to, in quotes, move is going to be the one that's the smallest. And so negative 4 is smaller than positive 2, and so I'm going to move this one. So I move it by adding 4y, which is the inverse operation, to both sides. Those zero out. I get negative 25 is less than or equal to 2y plus 4y is 6y plus 17. Okay, so just like in a regular equation, I'm still getting y by itself. So in order to get the y by itself, I have a multiply by 6 and I have an add 17. Add, subtract go first. So I subtract 17 from both sides, those zero out. And so now this right here, I tell my students this is like money. Okay, you're short $25 and now you're supposed to spend 17 more. You're really short. And so you know the answer is going to be negative. And when the signs are the same, you end up adding those digits together. So that would be 42 is less than or equal to 6y. And so now to undo the multiplication, we use the inverse operation, which is divide. Now I want you to notice this time, I did not reverse the symbol because I'm dividing by a positive number. See, that's a positive 6. The negative's up here, it was already there. So this symbol is going to remain the same, and the 6's are going to divide out, leaving me with the y, and negative 42 divided by a positive 6 is a negative 7. So there's my solution. Now you can read that two ways. You can read negative 7 is less than or equal to y, or you can say y is greater than or equal to negative 7. Most of you probably like the y to be on this side. That's fine. Just make sure you have the symbol the correct way. Notice this symbol is opening to the y, the greater than side. And so if you rewrote it, the symbol has to be the same. Okay? So the solution is y is greater than or equal to -7.